What separates a broke dreamer from a billion-dollar businessman is not luck, not talent, and definitely not the family you were born into. It is a series of levels every wealthy businessman passes through, and today we are breaking them all down. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe right now because this is exactly the kind of content we make here. Did you know that 82% of successful businessmen started with less than $1,000 in their pocket? Not millions, not investors, not fancy offices, just a small amount of cash and a massive amount of desperation. Sam Walton, the man who built Walmart, the biggest store chain on the planet, borrowed $20,000 from his father-in-law and opened a tiny shop in a small town that nobody cared about. Today, that company is worth $400 billion. When you are starting broke, every single day feels like you are trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. Money comes in, money flies out, and you are left staring at your phone calculator wondering how rent is even possible this month. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Being broke at the start is actually a superpower in disguise because a person who has nothing to lose is the most dangerous kind of businessman alive. They take risks that comfortable people never will. They work hours that lazy people never touch, and they build hunger inside themselves that no business school on earth can ever teach you inside a classroom. Studies show that the average successful businessman fails at least 3.8 times before building something that actually sticks, meaning failure is not the opposite of success. It is literally the road that leads directly to it. Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks, pitched his coffee shop idea to 242 investors and got rejected by 217 of them before a single person believed in him. Today, Starbucks serves over 8 million customers every single day across 86 countries. Your first win as a businessman will not be big, it might just be your first $100 sale, your first client who actually paid on time, or your first month where you did not lose money. But that small win changes something permanently inside your brain, because now you have proof that it is possible. And proof is the most powerful fuel a struggling businessman can ever find. The first failure hurts like nothing else. It feels personal. It feels like the universe is telling you to quit and go get a normal job. But every single businessman sitting at the top today has a failure story that is bigger, more embarrassing, and more painful than anything you have ever experienced, and they kept going anyway. Research from Harvard Business School reveals that only 1 in 3 small businesses ever successfully scale beyond their first level of income, meaning most businessmen make just enough to survive, but never enough to actually get rich. Because surviving and scaling are 2 completely different games that require 2 completely different mindsets. Ray Kroc did not invent McDonald's. He simply took a small burger shop owned by 2 brothers, scaled it using a franchise system, and turned it into a business that today serves 69 million people every single day across 100 countries and generates over $23 billion in revenue every single year. He did not work harder. He worked smarter by building a system that made money without him standing in the kitchen flipping burgers himself. Scaling means you stop selling your time and start selling a system, because your time has a limit of 24 hours, but a good system can run in 10 cities, 20 countries, and 365 days a year without you even waking up from your bed. The moment your business makes money while you are sleeping, eating, or sitting on a beach somewhere, that is the exact moment you stopped having a job and started having real wealth. So let us know in the comments, what is the one thing right now that is stopping you from scaling your business to the next level? A study by Fidelity Investments found that 88% of millionaires are self-made, meaning they did not inherit their money from a rich family, but instead built it from scratch through businesses, smart investments, and years of disciplined decision-making, which completely destroys the excuse that wealth is only possible if you are born into the right family. Managing millions is nothing like managing thousands, because when your money reaches a certain level, it starts developing its own problems. Wrong investments can wipe out years of work overnight. The wrong business partner can steal what took you a decade to build. And a single bad financial decision at this level does not cost you hundreds, it costs you millions. Warren Buffett, the man worth over $100 billion today, still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Because the first rule of managing real wealth is understanding that looking rich and being rich are two completely opposite things that most people dangerously confuse every single day. Influence at this level works like a magnet. Governments listen to you, banks call you first, and doors open automatically that ordinary people do not even know exist. But the heaviest weight at this level is responsibility. Because every decision you make now affects not just your family, but hundreds of employees, thousands of customers, and entire communities depending on your next move. A report by WealthX found that there are only 2,756 billionaires on the entire planet out of 8 billion people, meaning the elite level of business is so rare that you are statistically more likely to get struck by lightning twice than to reach it without an absolutely obsessive level of dedication, sacrifice, and an almost crazy refusal to accept an ordinary life. At elite status, a wealthy businessman does not just own a company. They own entire industries. They sit on boards that shape government policies, they receive phone calls from world leaders, and their single signature on a paper can create thousands of jobs or end them overnight. Bernard Arnault, the man behind luxury empire LVMH, which owns Louis Vuitton, Dior, and over 75 other premium brands, built his fortune not by working in fashion, but by buying struggling businesses cheap, fixing them strategically, and selling luxury as an emotion rather than a product. Today, his company generates over $86 billion in yearly revenue and employs over 175,000 people across the world. Elite businessmen do not chase money anymore because at this level, money chases them through royalties, dividends, licensing deals, and passive income streams that deposit into their accounts whether they wake up or not. So tell us honestly in the comments, if you reached elite status tomorrow, what is the very first thing you would do with that kind of power and money? Every wealthy businessman you admire today was once standing exactly where you are right now. Broke, doubting themselves, and figuring it out one level at a time. The only difference is they never stopped climbing. If this video gave you even one useful thing, hit subscribe because there is a lot more coming.